Hey everybody, it's Chrissy Key Rollins here, and today I felt very called to do a little short video to share with you my 3 steps, like the 3 foundational pieces that I feel are absolutely necessary to be in place in order to be able to manage and better handle and process anxiety and depression and that overwhelming feelings that can overtake us in this life. And I have so much information to share on these topics that it really took me some time to sit still and think, what are the most important pieces? What are 3 things that I could share that instantly can begin to turn things around for people without getting into, the digging into it a little bit deeper, like I would if I was doing like an hour-long training or, a workshop series or something. So that's my intention today, is to share with you what I found or have identified as the 3 foundational pieces that have to be in place in order for you to maintain your footing and to stand on solid ground whenever anxiety flares up or overwhelm kind of sets in. And for those of you that aren't familiar with me already, I am an intuitive mindset and self-healing coach for conscious entrepreneurs, and I really have a strong passion for helping conscious entrepreneurs learn a very simple and repeatable system for anchoring into your confidence so that you can move forward and take action with peace of mind in your ability to attract clients and to create consistent income. And anxiety is something that I run into all the time with my clients. It's something I've dealt with in my own life. I have had several panic attacks or anxiety attacks. I know what they feel like. I know how they can really just overtake you, how you can feel completely out of control, not really in touch and grounded with this life, and how they can feel just completely overwhelming. So I've had to really develop ways that I can keep myself centered, grounded, focused, and just have an option on how to respond whenever this starts to pop up. So that's what I want to impart on you today. So these 3 foundational pieces, they're kind of like, if you think about, kind of putting some pillars in place, and then you'll have a stronger place to stand on. That's my intention with this share. So the first thing that came to me is that you must, you have to commit 100% to your own happiness, to your own peace of mind, to your own fulfillment. This is a piece of the puzzle that is often overlooked and are not really thought a lot about, because it's kind of our default thing to say, of course I want to be happy, of course I want to have peace of mind. There's a difference between wanting something and being truly committed to it. I mean, like rock solid, unshakably, always turning back to square one over and over again. That's how committed you are. And that's how committed you have to be to your own happiness, your own peace of mind, your own ability to overcome this. You have to be more committed to that than anything else, because what it takes to do the internal shifts, only you can do. And what I have learned in integrating these practices into my own life is that when you don't have your inner self enrolled on the same level as your outer self, or your outer self enrolled on the same level as your inner self, you're going to have a push-pull. And you're going to have your mind saying, of course I want peace of mind and happiness, but then it's also going to be running into the direction that's anxiety filled. So it all begins with that commitment to yourself, to your own peace of mind, to your own happiness, because all of life comes down to one thing. How you experience anything, it all comes down to how are you experiencing you in any given moment. And in those moments that anxiety takes over, we tend to kind of separate ourselves from ourselves and not really like ourselves so much, because we like it when we're in control, or we're feeling confident, or we're feeling sure-footed, or we feel like we can help other people. And when that's taken away from us and that anxiety comes in and we begin to separate from ourselves, then we have to be able to re-anchor back in and say, no, I am more committed to my own peace of mind and happiness. I am more committed to breathing through this anxiety attack and re-anchoring into what it is that I know to be true about my life and my role in it, because that's the part that nobody else can do for you. So step 1 is going to be commit 100% to your own peace of mind and happiness, and be willing to do whatever it takes to turn over all those internal stones, to look around every corner, to work your way through, to take a step back and shift your perspective. Whatever it takes in order to get to that happiness, you have to be committed to it. And if you're not committed to that, then the rest of it's kind of futile, because you're only going to use it whenever it's convenient or whenever you feel like it. And if you really want to make this a state of being, like a way of living, so that you can take back control over your life and continue to allow it to unfold in its most powerful and glorious way, then this is what it starts with. That commitment, 100% committed to your own happiness, your own peace, your own fulfillment, 100%. So step 2 is that you have got to connect to and recognize the divinity that you are and that you're surrounded by. All of this it's a divine creation. And we could go into hours and debates over what does that really mean, but let's just say it this way. We are the unseen realm made manifest. We are a divine creation. And we all come from that unseen realm. We're all brought forth with that same whatever it is that's making all this happen. But you are a child of divinity, and you are surrounded by divinity, surrounded by it. There's divinity within everything that's around you. And if you're looking at life as if it's something else, as if there's two things that are happening, a good, a bad, a right, a wrong, or some people get lucky and some people are meant to suffer, if you can't connect to the divinity that you are and the divinity that you're surrounded by, you're going to have a much harder time managing your anxiety states, because it's going to seem like there's a separation. It's going to seem like that overwhelmed feeling that you're feeling is very tangible and very real. And when you can understand that the characters that cross your path are a divine expression, they are the divine, decorated as your loved ones, your friends, your family, strangers, and you can understand that there is a or you can just even experiment. It's not even an understanding thing. I'm a big fan of two little words. What if? What if we are divinity in human form? What if everything that surrounds us is also an expression of that divine? And what if every single character that shows up in your path is such a part of divinity? They are the divine, decorated as your daughter or your spouse or your lover or your friend or your client or your stranger, right? But that character is part of this divine plan. It's part of the divine matrix of what's happening here. And that character can only play out that which will help to move your soul's evolution along or move forward the collective human consciousness. So there's a lot of underlying agreements, soul contracts, some of these terms you might become familiar with already, but it's really important to understand that all of this is divine. It's all part of a divine plan. It's not going to match your wants, your desires all the time whenever you want and desire them. In fact, your wants and desires are created through the contrast that this divinity is playing out around you. So, step 1 again, you have to be more committed to your own happiness than anything else. And step 2, you have to connect to the divinity that you are and the divinity that surrounds you so that you can understand that you're part of a divine plan, a divine unfolding. And that all these characters and however they present themselves, it's not chance and circumstance. It's all very specific, and they cannot be any different until you are different. They're going to continue to be how they are to give you the opportunity to learn, experience whatever it is that you're supposed to go through so that you can make the shifts to get back connected to the divinity that you are and the divinity that you're surrounded by, and that you can begin to respond to life as if it's all a divine expression instead of reacting to whatever life throws your way. You see that power shift there? You're acting in response, making a conscious decision to respond to how divinity is unfolding versus that knee-jerk reaction of trying to figure out how to keep yourself alive or keep yourself moving forward as a result of what life looks like. Subtle shift, super powerful. The third foundational piece that I feel like has to be in place along with being committed to your own happiness and connecting to your own divinity is understanding that there is a part of you, or again, understanding, I say this stuff like it's fact, because to me, it resonates at a high level of truth within my own being. But that's me. So if you're new to this and you're like, I don't know, it kind of sounds nice, but I don't really know that I can just jump on board with you. Don't jump on board with me. Experiment with it for yourself. What if? What if? What if I am part of divinity and so is all of this? And what if everything's unfolding to divine plan? And what if, this third thing I'm going to say you, What if, no matter how much suffering I go through, no matter how much contrast I experience in this earthly realm, what if, no matter how much suffering I go through, there's always a part of me that is thrilled to be going through it and knows that this is what it signed up for, and knows that all of this suffering is just a sign that we aren't looking at life from an accurate perspective. Again, this is a what if, right? We can explore it. What if? And what if every time that suffering and contrast shows up, it's just a cue to remind me to love myself more and to bring more love and compassion to those that are around me? What if? I promise you, if you move forward doing nothing other than following these 3 steps, staying committed to your own happiness above all else. And sometimes we get a little weird whenever we hear that, because we're conditioned by society that catering to our own happiness is selfish. But let's take a moment, if you have a little qualm around that, and connect to who benefits when you are happy, whole, and complete. Who benefits when you feel amazing on top of the world? And think about who suffers when you are ridden with anxiety. Beyond yourself, who suffers when you're stuck in this? And beyond yourself, who benefits whenever you are fully expressed in your happiness, your joy, your peace? Get connected to who benefits. It will allow you to move yourself up that priority list. And if you have concerns that that's going to make you like arrogant or narcissistic or something, you can just rest assured it won't, because if you were truly arrogant and narcissistic, you wouldn't even stop to think, am I going to be arrogant and narcissistic if I do this? And understand that if any other character in your life interprets you as arrogant or narcissistic, it is just an opportunity for them to do some healing, you to do some of your own work. So there's more going on than what it seems like, right? Commit to your own happiness. Connect to the divinity that you are and that you're surrounded by. And always remember, there's a part of you that's thrilled to be going through this, no matter how much suffering you're feeling, no matter how much overwhelm, how much anxiety, all of that you're feeling, that is just a sign of what you're clearing out of your own energy field, what you're clearing out of this collective human consciousness, and what you're healing. So embrace it, shift your perspective on it, and see if it can lead you to making a different choice whenever that anxiety starts to kick in. Now, if this interests you and this sounds like something that you would love to learn a little bit more about or have some more support around, I have this 5-step system that I would love to share with you. It is super simple, and it is something that I use in my life every single day, if not moment to moment on some days, but it allows me to transform and transmute whatever it is that I'm feeling, thinking, or experiencing in my life. And I call it my 5 steps to activating alchemy, because that's exactly what it is. It is transforming, transmuting, transitioning whatever it is that you're feeling, thinking, or experiencing into a divine experience. It's super powerful. It's super simple, which is what I love about it the most. And it really does build upon this foundation that these 3 things that I just shared with you put into place. So if that interests you, reach out to me. You can find me on Facebook, Chrissy Key Rollins. You can find me online at holisticrestoration.com, and reach out to me. I would love to continue this conversation and share with you a little bit more insights. I hope that this was super helpful for you. I would love to hear some comments on if this resonates with you, if this hits home, if it makes sense. I always like to get that kind of feedback to know that what I'm saying and how I'm saying it is relatable. And I would love to hear how this is for you once you start practicing it and implementing it. I would love to hear from you. So thanks for being here and tuning in, and I will talk to you later. Bye.